Hello guys, and welcome back to another For Honor Hills build video. Today's hero is the Black Prior, also known as Voltaker, and the mode we're focused around is going to be Dominion. So let's go ahead and get into his awesome gear and check his perks. Now the three perk selections that I choose out of all the perks as a combination is Bastion, Ventral Barrier, and Bulk Up. Now the reason why I use these three perks is why I'm just going to explain right now. Well, Bastion in Dominion, you're always most likely in a zone, either on A or on C are always contested type zones where you can either control them or they could be contested by you fighting another enemy. Most of the time you're fighting in these zones. B doesn't necessarily count in the zone, even though it is a zone in the game, but it will not benefit from Bastion. And the way you know Bastion is working, you'll see a shield icon over your health bar. That indicates that you have damage reductions 10%. Now when you walk out of the zone, you'll see that it won't be there no more. So if you want to go check that out and see if it's working, that's how you'll figure it out. Now I use that over Remedy and Feline Agility because Remedy, I mean, yeah, it's cool to have health when you kill people, especially when you're getting ganked and you have no skills that grant you health. But again, we're in zones. We get damage reduction as it is, so we're going to take less damage, and if we defeat the enemies, we are going to regain our health back. On top of that, if we happen to get revenge because we are getting ganked, we get Ventral Barrier, which adds on another 25 health. And even during that shield that you're taking damage, you're still taking 10% less damage than you normally would, even with the 25 health you have. So it makes a difference, you know. And then being able to just, you know, take less damage in a mode that determines you taking over zones and holding the zones down, I feel is more beneficial to you, especially as a heavy like the Voltaker, than Remedy and Feline Agility. Also, there's some perks, feats that we do use for this mode that is going to kind of like go with and sync with your Bastion combination. Now, Ventral Barrier, I just told you that when you are in revenge and you're getting ganked, half of the time when it does come to For Honor, and they have changed this in the patch notes, they did say that whenever you're in a 1v1, you won't be gaining no revenge, no matter what. But when you're outnumbered, you will be gaining revenge, and depending how outnumbered you are is how fast you'll be gaining that revenge. So being outnumbered in Dominion does happen pretty often. And on top of that, when you get out of it, at least you'll still have a 25 shield. On top of, if you're in a zone, you're going to be taking 10% less damage. Now, the reason why I use Bulk Up over Last Stand and Rising Dawn is because it's a permanent health gain. Now, I don't have to be in critical health to gain a 40% damage reduction. I don't have to, like my allies, I don't want to use a perk where it relies on my allies being down for me to revive them. So being able to have this extra 12 or 16 health on top of normal health with my damage reduction to 10% in the zone, I'm going to get revenge more than likely. Then I'm going to come out of revenge with 25 health, damage reduction, and if I kill the enemies, I get to regenerate all my health back up, which is going to allow me to get revenge again. And if I don't regenerate all my health, take in mind, you already have bulk up, right? So let's say you got through majority of your health bar and you got revenge, you got out of it, now you got majority of your health bar still, plus the 25 health and the 10% reduction. You're most likely with this combination are going to gain revenge again before you die, allow you to come back if you still needed that extra push at the end, or if you killed two players and then the third player started coming with a full life bar and you're like, damn, this is going to help you in those sticky situations. Now I use that over Rising Dawn, I just told you, yeah, because you don't want to, you know, use perks that are going to rely on your players being down. And Last Stand, I don't like perks where it relies on you being in critical health, because let's say you go the whole battle without even being in critical health because you actually kicked every player's butt, you know, like Last Stand didn't come through at all during that whole battle, other than Bastion, Ventral Barrier, Bulk Up will help you through the whole match of Dominion. So let's go on to the feats. Now the first feat I use is Sinister Shield, and I use this one over Iron Lugs and Speed Revive in Dominion because being able to grant a shield on your allies, and if you notice, it gives a pretty significant shield. It's like the same as Ventral Barrier. So you're granting Ventral Barrier on characters without having them be in revenge. So you can see when your allies, if you don't want to gank the player and allow the player to get revenge and most likely kill you guys both, because that does happen, You can throw a Sinister Shield on the ally that you have fighting the enemy. Don't get involved, and you're already basically giving the advantage to your friend or your teammate because they have more health, so they have more to fight with on that player, especially if they're a player with hyper armor, so they could trade blows and not have to worry about dying before the other player because they already have a health bar and a half. It does do some damage to you, and the damage is slight that you inflict on yourself, but the thing is, you can sit in any of these zones like A and C where you're gaining health, you have it captured, and you can see somebody on B or fighting on the corridor coming to A or C, and you can grant them a shield, and if you're in the zone while you grant these shields, you're gaining the health that you lost back just as fast as you grant the shield. I guarantee it. I use that over Iron Lungs and Speed Revive because having a feat that relies on you being out of stamina to be able to run around, in my opinion, is just, I don't know, this perk has, I mean, this feat has always rendered useless in my opinion, only because I'm never going to be trying to run away when I'm out of stamina, because that means the player's just going to grab me and it's going to suck you in, because that's what guard breaks do nowadays. And like, I don't know, like, I don't ever try to be exhausted. Like, that's one thing I try to prevent the most, because why do you want to be exhausted? You're setting yourself up for the maximum amount of punishments if you end up getting punished, you know, from one of your attacks that fail. And then Speed Revive, again, it's a feat that relies on your allies being downed, and in Dominion, even though your allies are down and lives matter, because all lives matter, like responding or not getting revived, it really doesn't benefit too much in Dominion. You don't need to worry about your lives in Dominion. You need to worry more about capturing and maintaining these zones and preventing the team from capturing zones or killing troops forever at B, because that will also help them win the game. Again, it's just, yeah, not a feat that I would go with in Dominion, you know. Going on to Doom Banner, I choose, well, going on to my second feat is Doom Banner, and the reason why I choose this is because being able to throw a banner down in a zone like A, C, or even B with the minions, you can throw this banner down. Now remember, we have Bastion, so if you're in a zone and you throw Doom Banner down, you're getting 10% on top of whatever. Oh well, it used to lower the enemy's attack, but now it seems like it only lowers their defense powerfully, which basically means, you know, any heavy hits I feel like take a lot of damage. Every time I have this down, I'm doing about 50 damage to 46 damage with my heavies. And if you're taking less hits and you're dealing out more damage, I mean, this is super beneficial. It's going to sync with your Bastion, you know. And then if you're also have your Revenge, which is Ventral Barrier, that gives you more health when you come out of it, and your Bulk Up, which gives you maximum health no matter where you're at. Think about how much less damage you're doing, or even and more damage you're doing to the enemies that if they're ganking you or not in that zone. And you get Revenge, you're going to dish out so much. They're going to die. I promise you, they're going to die, dude. This is a sick combo. I've been using it since Voltrigger came out, and it's awesome. I did try the other one. Healing Ward is a very nice skill, but I feel like it's more important in zones that you got to maintain your health. It is cool. I do see people using it in Dominion. I mean, if that's the way you want to go, you can go. The one thing I do like about Healing Ward that I will suggest is it's good to use to bait people in. So like, let's say you see somebody fighting, and after they fight and you guys are like, you know, going toe to toe, but you see him going in his all stance to heal. Most of the time, even myself, I try to stop that Voltrigger or Blackbriar from healing. So I'll try to hit him or grab him or something. A lot of the time I don't notice this, but when I saw that, what popped in my head is, you know what, Healing Ward can be used as such a bait feat. Like, I can make people think I want to heal all the time, but really I'm just using the heal to make you think I want to heal, so I can punish you for trying to punish my heal. I don't know if I confused you guys there, but that's something that I suggest. And I have got a comment telling me to make combat videos about how I use certain characters and how I play with them, just like how I explained. And I will have those coming out soon. I'm trying to finish the story for Honor, so please subscribe and check that out if you guys don't mind. But yeah, you know, Healing Ward is a good skill for that. But when it comes to Dominion, this doesn't just benefit yourself. This benefits your whole team and anybody on the zone. Also, some things that I've noticed, players that care about their lives, like don't want to die and they care about their KD more than the game mode, they'll run away from the zone that you put this down on. You put this down in A or C, and it basically covers that whole zone or the entrance to that zone. That player, the enemy, will literally run the other way and wait till it's gone, or just run the other way and not come back. That's something that's beneficial, because that means you have that zone and you're boosting it 2 points every second, and you guys are going to win because nobody wants to come and fight you in that zone. And if they do, you're going to kick their butt, or you at least have the advantage. Now I use it over Inspire because Inspire is awesome, especially in defense breach. But and I mean, yeah, Dominion it'd be cool, but I'm not using a build where I'm trying to stay at B. You know, I'm trying to be at A or C with my Bastion and my Doom banner. And this also, yes, it increases your damage and allies damage. It's such a small circle, and half the time your allies are not going to be near you, and you're not going to want to fight in the troops if you have no way of healing yourself from fighting from these troops like other vanguards do, like the Warden and or Kensei. So that's the reason why I go with Doom Banner. Now going on to the third feat, I use Oathbreaker. I use that over Punch Through and Tough as Nails, and the reason why I do that is because punch through, yeah, you know, it's nice. You're gonna do some amount of damage. I've noticed to increase the amount of damage that it's done. I haven't went over the feats in a long time, but I do need to. But I do pay attention to the patch notes, and I did increase the damage slightly, but that is added on to what it already done. So it does a pretty nice amount of damage nowadays, maybe like half a light attack, you know. And my thing about this skill though is you don't want to get used to hitting players while they're blocking, because when you get used to that, you start fighting more advanced players, or you start getting better at the game, you start fighting more better players around your skill level. They're going to parry you, they're going to deflect your blocks, your hits. They're going to either dodge into them and punish you with something like the Shaman or the Orochi, Anusia, etc. Like, there's so many ways to punish people from their hits that you don't want to get comfortable with hitting players when they're blocking. I feel like if I see you doing that to me, I'm gonna just keep playing you as much as I can, you know. But this skill or feat, I feel, is not gonna allow you to learn how to open up players with the character that you're using. My opinion is never go with punch through, only because you wanna learn how to hit players for your full amount of damage. You wanna learn to actually land a hit, not land a hit on a block, you know. That's just my opinion. Plus, whenever you hit a player on block, you're giving them revenge, you know. I mean, not in 1v1s anymore since the patch, but when you do hit players on block, you're still giving them revenge. You're giving them more revenge than if you actually hit them. So that's why, you know, I wouldn't go with punch through. But going on to Tough as Nails, I don't use this over, what's this called again? Oathbreaker, because raising max health when unlocked, I mean, yeah, it's cool in Dominion, but again, lives do matter, all lives matter, but when it comes to Dominion, you're not focused about staying alive and worrying about your KD, and if you are, you're not being a team player, and I'm sorry to say that, but even me as someone who loves to play and I don't like dying and I do care somewhat about my KD, I still know that it's about winning the match. Like, when it comes to Dominion, it's always about winning to me. It's not about, oh man, I went in 3 times to try to stop these fools from getting points, but that's how we won. If we won, I'm not, you know, I'm not unhappy that I died a couple of times trying to make us win. It's crazy. I have an awesome video for you guys to watch, man. I was a berserker, man. It was just crazy. You know, it was the other night in the live stream. If you guys are catching them live streams and you saw it, but I saved it, don't worry. It was just awesome. I brought the team back by myself. But that's my point, you know, you got to be more about your team, not about yourself. If you're out there just worried about yourself and KD in a Dominion match, half the time you're probably gonna lose all those matches because you're not worried about winning, you know. But Oathbreaker, again, so the reason why I use this is it removes all shields from target and temporarily prevents from them gaining any more shields. So for instance, if you post this on a player that you've seen an Oathbreaker, I mean, you've seen a Vulture give Sinister Shield, or you've seen him get a shield from Ventral Barrier, you got him Revenge, any of those shields you can take off. I usually only use this for when I see a player gets revenge. Like, if I see my teammates kicking somebody, or if I'm fighting somebody and somebody comes up and hit them, or if I go and help somebody and end up giving the enemy player revenge, sometimes that is so punishing. But you can prevent that with Oathbreaker. So once you have the skill, if you see a character starting to grow orange, use that, because they're going to get in their revenge and think they have the shield, and they don't, and they think they're going to be able to eat these hits, and they're not, and they're going to die. It happens all the time. It's awesome. Now, I would hate for this to happen to me, but I love doing it to the enemies, and you will too, I promise you. So moving on to the fourth feat, we have Umbra Shelter. I don't really know how to say it. That's how I'm assuming it says it. It says, for a short time, generate shields for you and your nearby allies. Shields don't stack. So if you're not understanding what that means, it means that you're going to get a full shield like you would in Revenge, and this pulses out about 3 to 4 times while it's active. After that, it goes away. But during that time that the feat is active and you're around the Voltiger, or if you are the Voltiger, even yourself and your allies, you guys are getting a shield. Every time that shield pulses, it refills. So if you take damage on that shield and it goes halfway, the second time the thing goes, it'll make a sound like doo-doo, doo-doo, and it'll pulse out. You'll know when it's happening. And it'll replenish everybody's shield around you and yourself. So the shield will go all the way back up to normal. So what it means by it don't stack, it's not going to have like 2 shields on top of your health bar. You're going to have 1 shield. Whatever damage you take, you'll take. But it will replenish all the way back up to full as long as the skill's active. Once the skill's gone, your shield and all the damage you're going to take is gone. So what they're trying to prevent is from someone being invincible and a team being invincible by having this. Which you kind of are, but you're not at the same time. Because if you're taking a lot of damage from 3 to 4 players, and they're all hitting you with heavies, that's why it's saying it does not stack. Because during the couple of seconds, if you're not next to the Voltiger or that shield doesn't pulse out again and you took that damage, all that damage could probably eat through your whole shield and your life bar. And that's why it's saying it doesn't stack, because it doesn't want to allow you to be able to eat like 4 heavy attacks from a player and be like, oh yeah, I won. They're going to be like, that's OP, you know. But that's the way that this works, and that's what they mean by it does not stack. Now the reason why I choose that skill over Regenerate and Morale Booster is because, again, it's the minion. You don't need to worry about healing. You have zones to heal. So if you are taking a lot of damage or you are hurt, you can always go to one of your capture zones and heal. If you do die, don't feel that bad. Just try to hold out the teams from gaining points. Either fight them at a zone to stop them from getting points and contest it. I'm sorry. Or just rush them. Don't let them capture any zones. Don't even let them contest your zones, you know. I want to do videos based on how to play game modes. You guys let me know if you guys think that's a good idea in the comments down below. But I really do think I have great tips and guides on how to play these modes most efficiently. But moving on, I'm sorry, I know I'm doing a lot of promoting in this video, but it's the Voltiger, and I haven't been on the For Honor for like 2 weeks, like I said, because of Anthem and Division 2. So I just really want to get some out there and let you guys know I'm still here and really into this game. Now the 4th feat, like I said, Umbra Shelter, I use over Morale Booster because Morale Booster is nice. It does increases all your guys' damage, and it doesn't matter where your allies are, it will always increase your guys' damage. And it's really beneficial if you're on the offensive team and you guys are winning, you're kicking butt. But if you're on the team that's breaking and you guys are stuck with a few of you, or you guys end up going to one zone where they can't throw flask on you or they can't throw catapults on you, which is what a lot of players do. A lot of veteran players do that too. We all, even in modes that I've been in, Dominions with randoms, like we're all ping at a zone if we're breaking and be like, yo, let's group up at this zone, final fight. You know, having a shield for you and your allies more than once, like just basically having replenished amounts of shields 4 to 3 times while you're fighting these guys, I feel is going to help you so much more than just giving your team a bunch of damage. Because that means if they take hits and they have all that damage, if you can't dish that damage out, if you're getting ganked half the time, you're not able to hit them unless you get revenge. So you have this active, your player's getting smacked up, it didn't even help them. You know what I mean? The only way this skill is beneficial in Dominion is if you guys are winning. If you guys are making the other team break, then I would suggest activating it, you know. But if you want to prevent your team from breaking, or you want to make sure that the other team break and make sure your team don't lose while you're making the other team break, Umbra Shelter is the way to go. That is the build for the Dominion Voltiger. I really hope you guys enjoy. Sorry that it was a little long. I had a lot of talking to do. I know it's been a while. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this helped you. Let me know what you think about the video in the comments down below, and any other hero suggestions you guys want me to cover. And until next time, check out these other videos, and I'll talk to you guys later.